Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where as you may notice we have manpower, we don't have recruits here. It worked this time. I've had a bunch of times recently where it hasn't. I don't know. I feel like it's so cheesy, but at the same time we're making like 2k monthly manpower. We're gonna get nothing done without it. So I don't know. I might not do that anymore, but we'll see how this ends up feeling here. I mean, I would like to wrap up this game at some point fairly soon, because the new version of Hearts of Iron is out, and I feel like it's getting a little stale, so I would like to wrap it up. We'll see how it goes. But for now, of course, we're not going to be doing that for the foreseeable future. I'd like to have Germany fall first, but let's actually take a look at Germany here. They've got about 44k right now. Sure. 3 to 6 million deployed. Yeah, that's about what it's been. Okay, so we're going to be delivering manpower at this point. And we've already delivered about 100,000. So that's all well and good. And we'll queue up the new recruits again probably after we get this all distributed out. This is not going to be as much as we need, for the record. But we're definitely in much better fighting force, or much better fighting shape, rather, especially over this way. Things are starting to trickle in up here, but it's taking longer for supplies to be delivered up here, and even longer over here, which isn't shocking, for the record. That's not shocking at all. But we'll get those supplies, and particularly manpower, delivered in. How are we doing on our tanks? Okay, we're positive on our tanks because we had all of those tanks queued up. We had 8 units of them queued up. So we're stockpiling them right now, but that's dropping down. We're also short on our steel right now. So we should certainly grab ourselves a little bit more steel from the UK here. There we go. We'll grab that. And that will help our tank production. So that's all well and good. We're still having a bit of a hard time pushing out over here, but not as hard of a time as we'd have pushing out this way. I definitely want to push out to here, and then we'll try to wrap around over here and cut these guys off a little bit. They're going to still have their naval base here in Eritrea to bring supplies in. I guess Eritrea? I don't know. My pronunciation is suspect. You should not rely on my pronunciation of anything. Including the word pronunciation. Fantastic. Okay. So let's take a look at the air war out here. I'm not expecting this to be good. Yeah, that's about what I expected. For the moment, that's okay. We are building a bunch of radar stations up over here. And that will help our detection. And we have anti-air guns up here as well. So that's all great. We are currently working on infrastructure in Ethiopia. What does BET here stand for? I'm guessing the B is probably... Well, it's owned by French Commune. Occupied by us, yes. Does it not say? It doesn't actually say what the BET stands for. Interesting. My initial thought was that it's like the British equatorial something or another, but I don't know. Maybe. That is fairly equatorial. I mean, the equator is, I think, here. Ish. So it's somewhat equatorial. Maybe that's what it stands for. I have no idea. I'm just making things up. I could look it up, I suppose. Let's see here. Hoi for B-E-T. I put in an extra B, so I just looked up hoi for beet. As in, like, the root vegetable. Aha! Found it. Well, that explains why they decided to just call it the BET. Let me pop this over to this monitor here. And let me hop over to display capture, making sure that I have the correct display capturing. And look at that. This is what it stands for. Fantastic. I'm going to go with Borku Enedi Tebesti. It's a prefecture of Chad. So, there we go. Cool. Well, now we know. Okay. So, we're out of manpower. Like I said, we needed more manpower than we got. But we're just going to add these back in. I'm going to add 8 of them. Like we did previously. Maybe we should go up to 10. I mean, the more we add, the cheesier it gets. But also it feels like it's the least likely, or rather, not least likely, but less likely it is to actually... That's this army with the orders. The less likely it is to actually work. That's been my experimentation anyway. So I'm going to grab this army here, and they're pretty outnumbered over here. I'm not convinced that we hold this, although maybe with these Republican Government of China troops. Okay. I absolutely think we should build land forts here. We should also extend our railroad. It's a level 1 railroad. We should upgrade that to level 5 and extend it out over here, with the priority being on that land fort. Cool. So this is now cut off here. And I want to select these guys and tell them that their goal is to offensive line simply down like this. And they can go ahead and do that. Now these guys over here, they're going to try to push in a little bit. I'm not trying too hard over here. Note that we're still on cautiously attack. And there's a reason for that. I don't want to attack too hard over here. Cool. We do have a 1 level of land fort done here already. So that's really, really good. That gives us a very nice strong point here. And I don't expect that we're going to push into this for a while, which is part of the reason why we're digging in here. And we can also see their numbers up here. Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. There's a connection here. Okay. I assumed there wasn't. A bad assumption on my part, clearly. But there is a connection here. They do have a narrow corridor that they can move troops down here in. Now, they are having some supply issues down here. So that's good to know. There are no air bases anywhere near here. I'm wondering what happens. We don't control enough of Nigeria. I was going to build an airbase here. And we probably don't control enough of Chad either, do we? Let's take a look. Actually, we do. So if we were to build it in Chad, I think it's going to spawn here, awkwardly enough, based on where that built. That should give us the ability to get some air superiority over neighboring Nigeria, though. So we're going to get that started, and that is going to be, at this point, a higher priority than this land fort. We have 2 levels of land fort here, which I expect to be enough. Okay. We want to get these railroads built. And those will get ranked up quickly. We're almost done here, 7 June, so right now, that's now done. And then all we need at this point is a railroad here? Not sure what's going on with that railroad, but that'll be done on 14 June. So that's not bad. It looks like this is not all yet rank 5. So we'll get that upgraded. That'll be okay. We're going to get our level 1 airbase over here momentarily. Okay. It was built here. That should be okay. We're going to move all of these guys over. And yes, this will be too many planes. I'm aware of this. But we're going to head over to Sub-Saharan Africa here for the air zone. And we have no air superiority here right now. I'm thinking that's because we have too many planes here. I'm not 100% on that one. Wait, are we spending ground crews somewhere? I don't think so. Okay. So we're going to continue to work up our air power here. We're not currently flying missions. That's our problem. No, we are on air superiority. It's just that we can't take off from here because we're overwhelming this base, I'm pretty sure. That'll be fixed fairly soon. 21 June for the next level here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us off of that. We can already see that there are 300 enemy fighters over Sub-Saharan Africa. They're coming from this airbase in Senegal, I think. Yes, for sure. Okay. So we now have a capacity of 400 airplanes here. We're going to get our full capacity of 600 on 30 June. So that's only a few days here. I like it. I also want to make sure that we have anti-air and radar over in this area. Is any of this in Sub-Saharan Africa? It is not. So radar over here won't actually help us. Okay. These attacks are not going amazingly well. I'm going to stop this attack and tell them just chill for the moment. Just chill. How are we doing on our tanks right now? Well, we need 3,400. In theory. In actuality, we don't need that much, but it's trying to fill out all of our tanks for all of these. We're not actually going to make them, so that's okay. Cool. So there's a month tick, and we should, at this point, have this airbase up high enough. Yes, we do. So let's go ahead and launch our air superiority over Sub-Saharan Africa now. And now we can see that we have some air superiority here. Now, we don't quite have range to cover all of Sub-Saharan Africa here. That's reasonably expected. They have a bunch of close air support planes here. But our planes are a lot cheaper than theirs. Interesting. They're backing out of this region to some degree. Okay, not anymore. Our range is definitely awkward here. If we could get air superiority here, what would the plan be? Well, we would definitely nuke this location and take this. And then we'd head down here. That would be the plan. We'd nuke here, for sure. Like, that would 100% be the plan. Yeah, the lack of supplies in this state are going to be a bit of a problem. But, hello, pause menu. As we take more locations, it will get better. So that'll be fine. The real question here is, will they back off of the air war if we back off? I think that the answer is probably no, based on what we've been seeing. So let's stop fighting there for the moment. And let's see if they have any reaction. They dropped down to 200 fighters. And they do have 100 bombers. And 100 close air support. Okay, so we need to select these guys and go back onto air superiority. I think we just have to fight them. They're producing fighters a lot faster than we are. That's the main problem. A war of attrition in the air is not in our favor. If we look in here, we can see they have 230 factories being used in airplane production. 230. We have 3. So that's definitely a thing. I'm going to back off on our bomber production. And I'm going to throw those into, well, tanks is okay. But I'm going to actually back off on that and throw some of them into other things. There we go. So that should be okay. We do need more steel still. So that's not super shocking, I suppose. There we go. And let's take a look at this front. They're at 28% supply. Interesting. We've definitely stalled out here a little bit, but I would like to get this infrastructure built. So we don't really need to continue to build this airbase at this point. It's as built as we need it to be. This land fort is probably in the same category. I don't think... we don't need to cancel it, but... oh, I moved the radar instead. Let's move the radar back up. That was the airbase. I'm definitely not discombobulated at all here. Okay, perfect. We're going to move the airbase back down. The radar stays where it's at. Okay, so they're going to have a really hard time attacking us here. I'd really like to take this position, actually. Looking at this, can we take this right now? No. Not immediately. Anyway. We'll let our organization work its way back up while this fight continues. Because what I'd really like to do is take this position and then use this position to support an attack here. That would be the dream, right? Of course, these guys are really exhausting themselves. Control right-click. So we support with our infantry, attack with our tanks. And then these guys come in here simultaneously. That's not going to work. We're just lacking the numbers over here. We can shift a few units over. So we can shift, like, these guys over here to help us out. We'll get them moving. We got pushed out over this way, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is for right now. These guys are all completely unsupplied now. Let's try to distribute supplies from this supply hub. Thanks. Losing this supply hub was actually a big deal. Okay. These guys are supposed to be moving out over here. Getting assigned to this. Now, they're not currently, but we can order them to move to, like, here. Manually. And we'll go ahead and do that for now, and then the AI can take over from there. So, our supplies are definitely a lot worse. There's no doubt about that. We could try to fortify this front. But I think it's okay. Overall. 22 August is not too far away for finishing up that radar. And pulling a few troops out of this region will help the supplies. There's no doubt about that one. Okay. So we're bringing these troops over. Unfortunately, these guys have reorganized and resupplied. These guys aren't doing so hot on their supplies. Let's check in on the air war. Not so hot there either. Okay. You know, at this point, we have 500 air experience. We should probably swap off of carrier fighters, in all honesty, and get started on fighter 3s. So, or even jet fighter 2s, but the manpower requirements for jet fighter 2s are so much higher. I think we just go with fighter 3s, and we need to start getting this upgraded. Now, this is not going to get all upgraded right away. So we can take this up to, like, here. I'm not actually going to start producing them yet. Okay. But that'll be fine for now. And getting regular fighters other than carrier fighters would probably be good. We're not really utilizing our carrier fighters all that much, or rather our carriers all that much right now, so I think regular fighters would definitely be helpful. Okay, so we should have a good amount of manpower, or some amount of manpower anyway, in these. There's some. But for the moment, I think that's okay. We'll get those out next episode and ship those to the front. Just kind of in bulk. I'd like to have like a troop surge that we can then hit them with. That would be nice. But for the moment, this front is completely stalled out, and that is kind of the way I think it has to be. I want to check in on our railroad status over here. Something doesn't feel right. There are no bottlenecks to upgrade. Okay. Not having full control of the state. Yeah, that's this location right here. Sure. Very awkward. Very awkward indeed. Regardless, our additional troops will be arriving over here soon. And that will be good. Our organization is too low to advance because we are lacking manpower over here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, more supplies than it has capacity for. That's to be expected, in all honesty. We're going to move them in anyway. We're to get in here, and we're going to attempt to push the Germans out of here. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll give it a go. We don't need to worry about defending these areas so much because of these allied troops here. So that'll be fine. It immediately issued attack orders here, and I want everyone to attack here. I want these guys to assist in the attack as well. Sad. Very sad indeed. Okay, I think we need... The supply hub is damaged. That's a big part of our logistical issues over here, I think. Let's see here. Nigeria supply hub repairs. Is it not in here? Maybe it's just these repairs here. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily mind building a new supply hub out over here. That'll take a long time, and I understand that. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we can get another big manpower bump here. That would be awfully nice, because we've basically consumed the entire manpower bump from the last episode. Perfect. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Jensgram, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.